movie review. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jawan, and I'm bringing you guys my first movie review. Hopefully, the start of a series. In today's movie, we're going to be talking about Slenderman, the most anticipated movie of 2012, and then it was delayed 6 years, and here it is. Now, before we start, I do want to say that this is going to have a lot of spoilers for the movie, and to be honest, if you're looking forward to the movie, don't watch it, honestly. It's just don't. Spoilers, it's not even that bad. There's nothing, you're not really missing out on much. Anyways, let's dive right into this. Now, firstly, I want to say that when I went to the movie opening night, 7:30, with no expectations, I thought it would be just actual garbage because it's a movie based off of a game that has no story, and well, it was probably as bad, maybe even worse than I thought it would be. And another thing is the theater. There was like three people over the age of 18, and the theater was packed. So it's all a bunch of teenagers, really cringy. Everyone's yelling the entire time. It was an experience. I invited my friend, and I got left on red, so that's kind of cool. Maybe not even red, but maybe just deleted the message. Who knows? Anyways, into the movie. So the movie starts out with four characters, four high school girls. It's the most cringy, basic opening of any movie ever. And the acting, the first line I saw, and I'm just like, oh my God. I literally groaned in the theater. Same with the person next to me, because it's like the most basic text. The acting is horrible. They're like, wow, we're in high school. So glad I'm not gonna die like Slenderman. Yippee. And I saw that. I thought maybe it was gonna start out bad and then get better, because I've done some acting before, and the first time you're on set, it can be kind of awkward, with new people. It didn't. It really didn't. And our four characters, you're so just not even characters, really. I didn't even know their names through the entire movie. I knew one was named like, one second, gotta look up the Slender Man cast. Okay, the characters were Ren, Piper, Hallie, and Chloe. And they're the most basic high schoolers you can be. And then in the first scene, they run into their love interest, I think, for a group of four guys who only one of them you see like ever again in like two scenes. It was literally no reason. I thought they were like, awkward relationship. No, you see one of them two other times, and I'm like, nice. Anyways, they start talking, and the guys are going to summon Slenderman or something like that, and the girls go home and summon Slenderman on some weird sleepover thing where they watch porn and talk about it. Not even kidding. There's a scene in the movie where they watch VR porn or something like that. It was a good movie. Anyways, you go on like Reddit and you download some weird video file and you play it. You got to close your eyes or something, and then boom, Slenderman's there, kind of like The Ring or something like that. I gotta give him props. The video was kind of creepy, and I'm like, ooh, wow, I'm spooked out a bit. And so that was good, but then it kind of just happened. And then the girls, obviously, they saw the video. They're like, oh, one of them thought it was real, others didn't believe it. And then this weird dream sequence happened where one of the main characters, I'm pretty sure it was Hallie, falls asleep. And then she has a weird dream of the woods. And then she wakes up. And then it's like 1 week later. And that was really weird, because I'm like, did she fall asleep for a week and wake up? Was a dream a week later? Did she fall asleep, wake up, and then 1 week later? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then all of a sudden they're at a graveyard for some weird school field trip. And then that's when the main character, Piper, goes missing. And what I didn't really like about this is that you learn later on in the movie that Piper, I think it's Piper at least, was having an interaction with this Slenderman's like scribe. This girl named Alley Cat. And you don't realize that until like later on, where they go get the laptop. They find out, oh, she's talking to Alley Cat. Oh, she filmed a whole bunch of stuff. I feel that's kind of important to the plot. Like, I would have liked to know what drove her to go get abducted by Slenderman, because she just kind of like goes and disappears, and I'm like, oh, she's gone. One, the teachers, no one noticed, by the way. They're in a graveyard. She just walks away. No one notices, like, at all. That was kind of weird. And then, two, it never explained why. I didn't know if she wanted to, because the other three girls are like, oh, she lives in a trash town. Oh, wow, what you want to get abducted? And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Slenderman's not like some magical fantasy land. He just like kills you or something like that. So why would you want to go to him? And then I also want to know how she met Alley Cat. There's so many questions I have about the whole between Piper's story, and that was never explained. We just know that she filmed herself getting abducted in some angle where it was like you could see her arm down from like here, and it just didn't make any sense. It was like a shot like this. It was just a mess. Anyway, she goes missing, and then the girl's like, "Oh my God, Slenderman!" And then the world's worst police search happens. Blah blah blah. And the girls are like, "Oh, let's go investigate." And then like they broke. No, before they broke in the house, the one of the girls, I think it was Ren, was having babysitting her sister, and I think the sister's the main character. You see her like 5 times, but she's in all the trailers. I don't know. But then Piper's dad shows up and like breaks into the house, and there's a weird scene where like he's in the dark shadowy figure in the back, and I'm like, Slenderman in the kitchen, and then she goes back upstairs, and then Piper's dad shows up out of nowhere. I'm like, why was he hiding in the kitchen in the dark? Hello? Whose man is this? He then gets arrested, but then is allowed back to his house the next day, even though he broke in and tried to kill the girls. Like, hello? Police? The world's worst police, basically. It makes 0 sense. But yeah, that's not even important. Anyways, the girls go back to Piper's house and find her laptop in like it was like a hidden hiding spot. It was like a box in a closet, and I'm like, good thing the police did a search and found it, because it was just, they literally opened the closet, grabbed it. And I don't even know why she's hiding her laptop in the first place. My next question, why was the laptop hidden? It was in a place where she hides cigarettes, is what they said, but it's your laptop. Why would it be on your desk? Why are you hiding your laptop? I don't know, honestly. That doesn't make any sense either. But then they open the laptop, they go through it, and they find conversation with Alley Cat, Slenderman's scribe, which even that confuses me too, because it says Slenderman, he'll take some people, leave other people, but then he takes Alley Cat, and then she goes to an insane asylum. Her name's Alley Cat there for some reason, and then she becomes the all-knowing being about Slender. Like, why does she know so much about him? Is he her? That would make more sense. That'd be a cool plot twist. How does some insane girl know everything? She's like, you gotta give yourself up to him if you wanna get your friend back. And so the girls are like, oh, well, okay, that makes sense. And they go do it. And that scene, the worst part of the movie had to be there. Not saying a lot because the movie was pretty bad. But they all found some log, they brought something important, and then Ren was like, whatever you do, don't open your eyes. She puts on blindfolds, and everyone's like, okay, won't open her eyes. The freaking black girl, like 2 seconds into it, she's like, oh, I gotta check Slenderman. And then, obviously, she gets, like, attacked. No, she sees him, she freaking Usain Bolt's out of there, and then she runs into Slenderman. And then nothing happens, he, like, takes over her mind, and that's where everything starts getting weird. And so my next question from that, I know I have a lot of next questions, but my next question is, how come Slenderman was, like, haunting the other 2 girls? Because Ren said, oh, as long as you don't look at him, you'll be fine. No one else looked at him. The freaking black girl was the only one who looked at him. So they should all be fine, but for some reason, he affected everyone. Anyways, he got in her mind, and they had some weird sequence. That I'll give them credit. That part was pretty cool, too. It was cool for the wrong reasons. But basically what happened was the black girl goes back to her house with no parents, by the way. Like, her dad died, but, like, her house was empty. Like, literally, you don't see anyone except for Piper's weird alcoholic dad the entire movie. And anyway, she's, like, going to bed, and she gets some Skype call, and it's outside of her house. So I'm like, ooh, that's so creepy. And then it starts moving through her house, no clipping through walls and stuff like that. I'm like, how is Slenderman just walking around with a phone? At one point, it's, like, showing the phone going up the stairs, but, like, it's showing the actual stairs, so is she, like, walking like this with the camera? I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. But it gets to her room, and the girl's like, hello? Open the door, nothing's there. And I'm like, ooh, that's a creepy one. And she checks her phone, and it's recording her. She's like, hello? And then Slender just shows up behind her, wraps his weird tentacle fingers around her, and then that's it. She looks in the mirror, and she's, like, choking herself in some weird BDSM fetish stuff. I don't know. I don't know what the point of that is. And that brings up my next point. Is Slenderman real or not? I have no idea. the movie had a really bad way of explaining that. Because in that scene, you showed her choking herself, but she saw Slenderman choking herself. In the scene after that, not scene after that, but later after that, the girl, one of the girls, I think, gotta check who it is, Hallie. Hallie's talking to her love interest, some jock guy that you see like one other time. And she looks back, and Slendy's in the forest. She's like, "Oh my God, Slendy!" And then he's like, "Huh?" Turns around, nothing's there. But then in the scene in the woods, Slenderman's chasing them around, and he actively like knocks her over and grabs onto her. So is he real or is he in their mind? It needs to make up their mind. Is he real or is he fake? Movie needs to make up their mind, because you see him sometimes, other people don't, but then you do, but then you don't. It doesn't make sense. Anyways, the one girl, after she sees Slender Man, she goes to hang out with her mans at his house, and then they start like kissing and stuff like that. Everyone in the theater was like, "Oh yeah, romance!" It was pretty uncomfortable. And then the guy starts freaking spazzing out, face twitching out, looking like a freaking dementor. And then she starts screaming, and then it shows back to him, and he's like, "What did I do wrong?" And she's like, "I think I gotta go." And he's like, "Okay." And she's like, "Don't watch the video." And he's like, "I won't." And then the next day you see him with like black marks on his arm. So obviously they watched the video. But then you never see him again. You see him for 2 scenes, and then he's gone. And I'm like, well, that sucks. The 2 girls, the ones who is Hallie and Ren, they go to check up on their black friend because she's been gone for like a week or something like that. Her mom's like, "She's just sick." And I'm like, "Where were you like every other scene?" And then, like, her friend, like, goes to the window looking like a zombie, and they're like, "Okay," and they just leave. And I'm like, cool. Nice. I'm glad that was in the movie. They go back home. Hallie goes to check out. I was wrong. Ren goes to check out some books about Slendy, you know. She reads about him. And then it does this really cool scene where, like, he goes into her mind and stuff like that. And then she's, like, in the library walking around, Slenderman sneaking around. And everything's all warping and stuff like that. It was, honestly, that was probably my favorite scene. Because it was all creepy. And then he, like, turns her into Slender Woman. No reason for that. But we're just going to act like it was important. But then she doesn't play it off. She ignores it completely. Which is, I think, another annoying thing. That no one talks about what they saw. They all know that they're not crazy. They're all experiencing things. No one talks about it at all. And I'm like, Hallie's trying to live a normal life, even though she literally saw him outside. But then anytime Ren brings up Slenderman, I'm like, no, I'm just going to ignore all this, even though he's haunting me. Just ignore it all. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what? It was bad. And then that leads for Ren to go check up on the computer again, you know, message Alley Cat, because so far everything Alley Cat said has been working pretty well. It really hasn't. They got their other friend abducted, but you know what? Hey, let's text her more. Alley Cat's account gets deleted, and then a video comes up of Ren's sister. Do you remember that girl I was talking about? The one in the trailer who's like, oh, stuff's coming out of her mouth? Yeah. Ren's sister is going into the forest with Hallie, and then Hallie's like, "You gotta sacrifice something you love," and then like Slenderman shows up, some weird stuff like that. And so then Ren goes to confront Hallie about it, and Hallie is all like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do this. It was before all any of this stuff happened." But that doesn't make any sense, because the girl went missing, then they went to go and do the summoning thing. And then that doesn't make any sense. So they didn't know about the sacrificing all of your things until after they talked to Alley Cat. Otherwise, they would have done it before. Alley Cat told them, sacrifice something you love. So they read Alley Cat's message. They went to, like, live that same night. They went to sacrifice something. And then Black Girl got, like, slenderfied or whatever. Then Hallie was all like, "Oh, she's freaking out. We're freaking out. We're running from something. It can't be real. I'm going to go bring my friend's sister into this." Like, why? That makes 0 sense. It doesn't. And then, like, apparently, though, she wasn't abducted, because when she's in the hospital, she's twitching out, you know, having these weird, like, hallucinations, stuff like that. I don't even know what's going on. And then she's fine at the end. So I'm like, Slender only wanted the main 4? that the sister was kind of like, the sister was able, you could cut the sister out of the plot completely, it would have changed literally nothing. I kind of wish his sister and the four friends, they shouldn't have been in the movie. They had nothing to do with it. The guys are like, oh, we're somebody's Slenderman, but you never see him again. You see one of them, and then he also disappears. And then, hello? But it still doesn't make sense on why Hallie would bring Ren's sister into it. If Hallie knew what was going on, and then Hallie's like, oh, I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was fake. And I'm like, you literally saw what happened. You saw your friend get taken over, but besides the point. Then they go into the house, and then when Ren is talking to Hallie, then like they get a FaceTime call. Well, they get a phone call, like, and they're like, huh. They get a FaceTime call, and they're like, huh, let me answer this. And then it shows Slendy with his freaking camera skills going in the house, goes up the stairs, and then like just, this is where I got confused. Because from this point on, I had no idea what was happening. Ren, or Hallie just gets ripped through a window by some like tree, and I'm like, wait, what? Is this real? And then Ren's like, and just like goes in the woods, and then she's walking in the woods, and she's like calling for Thunder. She's like, take me, because you know he wants them. This is what Alley Cat said. And then and Slenderman shows up, and she's like, I love LJK, don't take me, and she starts running, and then she turns into a tree, and then the movie like ends with his sister like, don't spread creepypastas around, and then it was done, and I'm like, what? It made no sense what happened at the end. Here's what I think. Slenderman is real, but not real at the same time. He's both, which is really annoying, so I don't know what's hallucination and what's real. The tree grabbing stuff, that I don't know if that was real, or if it was just Slenderman. And then the whole forest scene, like how did she even into the forest? She went to the forest in the video, he saw the fence. It didn't, that wasn't important to show. But then when he caught up to her, he turned her into a tree. So like he's a real magical being, but he works in your mind. How come Alley Cat got away? How come his sister got away? His sister was fine. She was just like, don't spread rumors about Slenderman, because you know he'll take over your body and kill you. Sister was fine. Alley Cat, I don't know, she went to psychiatric therapy or something like that, and then she got out fine and was messaging people. But that doesn't make sense either. Here are my biggest problems with the movie. One, the characters, I didn't really care about any of them. I cared about the little sister the most, because it showed her like all of Ren's friends like hating on her. I'm like, oh wow, it sucks to be her. Though the characters never seen again. The families are never seen except for Piper's drunk dad, who like breaks into someone's house, attacks somebody, and then he's able to live his normal life the next day. The editing was really weird. CGI was trashy. And all the weird like twitching scenes, it looked just like someone was shaking their head really fast. Slenderman looked horrible. The story really doesn't make any sense. I still don't understand what this. There was no story. It's just he throws up with Slenderman like 2 minutes in the movie, takes all of them. That's it. I was talking to one of the movie theater workers, and I'm like, oh, I watched Slenderman, and I'm like, there was no character development, no story, and it was kind of scary. And they're like, oh, just like the game, and I'm like, huh. And they did it. They turned a game with no story, no cheap scares, and no character development into a movie with no story, cheap scares, and character development. Definitely something that was not worth my money. Now, there were some times that was creepy. I'll give it that, where I'm like, ooh, that's kind of scary. But like, no real jump scares. That's my take on it. If you've seen it, leave a comment down below. I'm Jawan. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.